This is going to be my second video update, and I'm coming to you from just outside the museum here at the Acropolis. And in this video update, we are going to have to talk about the latest news with regards to what's going on in Pakistan and Imran Khan. I've done a bunch of videos about Imran Khan, Prime Minister Khan, and how there was a regime change operation in Pakistan. It failed, but now it looks like it's going to succeed again. So this is a big development, really, really big development. We're going to get to that. And we're going to have to talk about some stuff that's going on in Ukraine, on the ground in Ukraine. And what's going on in Pakistan is connected to this global war, this war between the globalists and the current world order and the establishment of a new world order. And Khan is taking a prominent position in being a part of this new world order. But it looks like the old world order, the globalists, are not going to let Pakistan chart its own course, its own sovereign course. So we're going to talk about what's going on a little bit in Ukraine on the ground, and we'll talk about Pakistan. So let's first do Khan, what's going on with Imran Khan. Okay, so the parliament in Pakistan, let me just do a recap. The parliament in Pakistan, about a week and a half ago, there was a lot of pressure put on Khan and many of his government officials and parliament members to defect and to push a no confidence vote. In other words, to topple his government. And that's what happened. He had a lot of people in his government and in the parliament defect to leave his party, and parliament then decided to have a no confidence vote to topple the government and to put a new government in place. And when they were going through this no confidence vote, and by the way, there's actually, I don't know if you guys can see the turtle. There's like a big turtle over there. Hope you guys can see it. Interesting. So as they were having this vote to, this no confidence vote in the parliament in order to remove Khan from prime minister and for the opposition party to put their own prime minister, Khan came out with some documents and some proof, concrete proof, like real evidence, that it was the United States and the globalists that were behind the defections. They were behind getting the military as well to turn on Khan, and they were trying to put together a regime change, you know, your classic regime change operation. And so they got all the defections from his party, a few people in his party to defect. They pushed the government and the parliament to go forward with this no confidence vote. And after the no confidence vote, the opposition would then put in their own government, which was sympathetic to the Biden White House, to Newland, the neocons in the West. Why did they want to do this? Well, because Pakistan and Imran Khan, they wanted to take a neutral stance with regards to the conflict in Ukraine. In other words, they wanted to continue to trade with Russia and with China. Pakistan has excellent relations with China, and they wanted to continue the cooperation they have with China. They didn't want to sanction Russia. And Pakistan in general just wanted to chart its own sovereign course. And it didn't mean that Imran Khan didn't want excellent relations with the West either. He just wanted the country to be sovereign, to choose its own foreign policy. And I've said in many videos how the United States, the Biden White House is sending diplomats all over the world. Blinken, Newland, many diplomats have gone to India. Dalip Singh was in India, and they're trying to get countries which are either taking a neutral stance or are taking a very keen interest in this new fair world order that the Chinese and the Russians have dubbed it, this fair world order, a world order that's built on multipolarity, on global trade, on cooperation, and viewing each other as peers and not as colonies. Well, this fair world order is something that scares the crap out of the neocons. And much of this fair world order will also mean the effective end of the USD as reserve currency, the petrodollar. Even Saudi Arabia is taking an interest in this fair world order, and Pakistan, with Khan, was very interested in this. And they saw this as an opportunity for Pakistan, a very large, powerful country, to play an important role in this new architecture for a fairer world system. And the US wasn't going to have any of it. The neocons were not going to have any of this, nor were the neoliberals. Not that there's much of a difference anymore between neocons and neolibs. But they started pushing this regime change in Pakistan. There's another turtle. Oh, what a beautiful turtle. So they got this no confidence vote, and Khan made a very clever move. And he said that this no confidence vote, he got the parliament speaker, the vice or the deputy parliament speaker, to say that this no confidence vote was unconstitutional. It went against the Constitution of Pakistan. I believe it was Article 5 of the Constitution of Pakistan. And before they could have the no confidence vote, which would have definitely gone against Khan and removed Khan, the deputy speaker, he took it off the table, and Khan survived. And there was going to be an election in 90 days, of which Khan would most certainly win because he's super popular. And that was his move to counter the regime change. But the opposition party went to the Supreme Court of Pakistan, and the Supreme Court on Thursday came out with a decision saying that what the parliament speaker did, the deputy parliament speaker did, goes against the Constitution and goes against Pakistan law, and they reinstated the no confidence vote. So now we're going to have a no confidence vote again. And in this no confidence vote, it looks like it's pretty certain that Imran Khan is going to be removed as prime minister, and the opposition party will appoint their own prime minister, a puppet prime minister, and then you will have elections in 2023, and this puppet prime minister will most certainly take Pakistan and move Pakistan into the side of the collective West. One sec. As I walk through here. All right. So this new government will most certainly take Pakistan out of this neutral stance and move them to an anti-Russia, anti-China stance, and they'll start placing sanctions on Russia and most likely start distancing themselves from China. And this is a big development. And the military is also on the side of this opposition party. In other words, the military is also working to remove Khan. And that's where we are. So it looks like this regime change. I hope this wasn't confusing how I explained it. It's not a confusing story, but there's a lot of moving pieces. But it looks like this regime change is going to succeed. And it looks like the opposition party is going to get their prime minister put in place, and this prime minister is going to move Pakistan back under the control of the collective West. We'll wait and see. This story hasn't concluded yet, as I was explaining earlier. It's had a lot of twists and turns, that's for sure. But let me read you a statement from Khan, and this is what Khan said when the Supreme Court ruled that the vote should return back to the parliament. In other words, we're going to have another no confidence vote. When Imran Khan found out about this, he sent a tweet And he said, my message to the nation is that I have always fought for Pakistan and will continue to fight till the last ball. Remember, Imran Khan is like a legend cricketer. I mean, he's like an absolute legend athlete. Very well known athlete, sportsman, statesman. He's a pretty incredible statesman as well, and just one of the big name leaders in the world. You know, like just one of the really, really big name leaders in the world, and someone who wanted to chart an independent, sovereign course for Pakistan, and someone who I guess you could say he was one of those leaders who really looked after his country. I guess you could say. I mean, people in Pakistan, they can comment down below how you view Imran Khan, and also how you view what's going on in your country. Is this a regime change? The documents that Khan presented were pretty compelling. I mean, he brought receipts. He brought receipts that this was a regime change. It looked like it failed. It looked like it was not going to succeed. And then we got this news from the Supreme Court, and now it looks like it's going to succeed again. So that's the latest from Pakistan. Very, very important news. The story's not over yet, but as I said, it does look like the no confidence votes will remove Khan from office. The opposition was very, very happy. They were celebrating in the streets, and they're preparing their puppet government. I say puppet government because I think it's, in my opinion, it's going to be a puppet government. You know, it's always best to remove people, to remove leaders with a democratic vote. When you have stuff like this, these regime changes and these special parliament sessions to remove leaders, it never ends well. Coup d'etats and stuff like this, it always leads to conflict. But let's hope for the best. Let's hope for the best, and we'll see. We'll see what'll happen. This is big news, very big news. So let's shift focus, and of course it is connected to Russia and Ukraine. Absolutely. Remember, everybody, this is a global war. We are in the beginnings of a World War III, and it's a hybrid war. There's obviously a hot war going on in Ukraine, and there'll probably be a hot war going on in China with regards to Taiwan, the Solomon Islands. We're going to have a video on the Duran where we talk about the Solomon Islands as well. There is the hot war. There is an economic war of attrition, as Alexander calls it, taking place right now. There's de-dollarization, the end of the petrodollar, the rise of the ruble, the rise of the RMB. There's gold. I was going to say the rise of gold, but gold is always there. But gold is now center stage. There's Bitcoin. There's a hybrid media war. There's a diplomatic war, a geopolitical war. So, I mean, we're at the beginning of something that's huge. Very, very big. And in Pakistan, it looks like one of the frontline leaders in this conflict is going to be sidelined. So, what's going on in Ukraine? Real quick, we have activity in Odessa, at the port of Odessa. The Russians are operating on the ports. Once again, removing fuel depots. They're making it next to impossible for the Ukraine military to have any type of fuel support, logistic support. They're doing that. They're making sure the port is firmly under control of the Russian Navy. And they're also operating in Kharkiv. There are some reports, and Gonzalo Lira put up a post on his Telegram. There are reports that the Zelensky regime, and it's not really Zelensky, it's the people in Kharkiv, the Azov guys in Kharkiv, they've actually taken violent criminals from prison, like some of the most hardened criminals in Kharkiv, and they've moved them to the front lines in order to prevent anyone from leaving Kharkiv city. I thought that was an interesting development, and Gonzalo put that up on his Telegram. So they're taking like hardened criminals, like really bad guys, and they're forming them into units, which will make sure no one leaves Kharkiv. Everyone is stuck in there. Obviously, they're preparing to use the people of Kharkiv as human shields. And we have that. We also have reports that just came out from the Russian Ministry of Defense. So this is from the Russian side of things. And they're saying that the Zelensky regime is preparing another false flag, something like what happened in the village outside Kiev, in another town called Irpin, IRPEN. And they're saying that they're going to be preparing another false flag there. Once again, this is coming out of the Russian. Let's go down this way, where it's less noisy. This is coming from the Russian side. So if something happens in this town called Irpin, it's Saturday right now in Athens, and you heard it here, that if news comes out next week with regards to some sort of atrocity in Irpin, the Russian Ministry of Defense is already warning that a false flag is being prepared. We'll see. We will see. And we have a statement from the Pentagon, and it has to do with Donbass. In the video I put up this morning, I said that the Russian military is already operating in Donbass. They're already softening up the area, that cauldron. They're softening it up and they're getting ready to annihilate it. Well, the Pentagon came out with a statement, and they estimate, and this is a quote from the Pentagon, they estimate more than 40 Russian battalion tactical groups are located in or near the Donbass region. And on Wednesday, April 6th, the figure was more than 30 battalion tactical groups. So about 10,000 more soldiers in the last couple of days have arrived in the Donbass. Russian soldiers have arrived in the Donbass, according to the Pentagon. So that's what's going on in the Donbass. The Pentagon knows that it's coming, the big battle in the east. Anyway, that's the video, everybody. TheDuran.locals.com. Take care.